Hey everybody. In this video, we are going to be discussing literacy skill development. We're going to talk specifically about alphabet knowledge, phonological awareness, print conventions, and print functions. Alphabet knowledge, you should know that entering kindergarteners need to have mastered about 12 to 15 letters, both upper and lower case, and the sounds that they make. So that's about half the alphabet. What we know about entering kindergarteners is that we get a developmental range of about 8 years. Some children enter kindergarten developmentally more like an 18th month old, while some children enter kindergarten developmentally more about at an 8-year-old level. We accept children where they are, but if children struggle with letter recognition and sound recognition from the beginning of their education career, the developmental progression of literacy skills will be challenging for them. A child's name is typically the first word that he or she learns to read and write. It is an important part of their identity as well. You can support alphabet knowledge by supporting children as they learn to identify the letters in their name. Here are some ideas for letter name knowledge activities. Pocket charts are a wonderful way to help children with their names and attendance. If you have a pocket chart, you can just put every child's name in the classroom on a sentence strip, and they can identify their name and move it to the in class column, right? So when you print out letters on, say, a sentence strip, you want to have your print to be about 2 inches long. So children can assess the letters easily when they're a little bit bigger in print. You can play letter matching activities, developing visual discrimination between similar letters. And when you think about the letters B, C, D, P, and Q, they all have a straight line and a curve. And so they're really easy to get mixed up. When we're used to being able to identify individual letters, we don't see the similarities in them. But if you don't know that, to be able to discern the difference between these letters, it's easy to get them mixed up. Playing games and activities that help children recognize the differences between letters is very valuable. Reading alphabet books is a great way to become familiar with letters. You don't want to just read alphabets in a large group. You want to be able to read alphabet books one-on-one or in small groups where you can do some dialogic reading along with a book. It's another great way to teach and practice letter names. Using alphabet games and puzzles puts the fun in learning letter games. It's not just drill and kill. Phonological awareness refers to skills of detecting and manipulating sounds in spoken words. As an educator, you want to know the speech units and how to manipulate those speech units. The expectations for phonological awareness during preschool and some instructional strategies are being able to blend sounds together for later reading and segmenting words into sounds for later spelling. Educators can introduce these concepts to young children through songs, rhymes, games, shared book reading, and collaborative emergent writing experiences. For example, drawing with annotation. We can also explicitly discuss phonological awareness concepts by explaining what syllables, rhymes, and sounds are. Let's talk about the alphabet sounds. Some of us have learned letter sounds incorrectly. The most mispronounced letter sounds are B, C, D, F, G, H, L, M, N, P, V, and I'm going to say R. These letters have no vowel sounds in it, and some of us have learned the letter sounds with the A, the sway sound at the end. Copy this web address into your web browser, and it's a great video where you can practice saying letter sounds correctly. Phonemes and phonemic awareness. Phonemes are the smallest units of sound in a word. You can see on the slide the word bed in just the sounds. When you see those slashes around letters, that represents the letter sound. If we we're going to sound out the word bed. It would be b-d. Children need to recognize phonemes. They need to know individual letter sounds. The next step in phonological awareness is hearing the syllables in words. In oral language activity that you can do to support hearing these syllables in words is clapping out syllables in a child's name. With my name, Beth, we would clap Beth, one syllable. If you were using my formal name, Elizabeth, we would clap Elizabeth, 4 syllables. You can use clapping syllables in children's names as a transition activity from circle time when you're waiting in line for going into the cafeteria, library, or assembly. You can clap not only children's names, but common nouns, vocabulary words, etc. Syllables are the natural segmentation in a word, and it's important as children begin to manipulate the sounds of speech to understand the syllables in a word. Think about spelling specifically. Children need to be able to spell and to be able to hear the natural segmentations or syllables of a word so they can sound out the different syllables in that word. Onset rhyme. Onset and rhyme include the beginning consonant, that's the onset, and the rhyme, which is the vowel and all the sounds that follow. Here are some examples on the screen. For the word black, the onset is bl. The rhyme is ak, lack. Notice I did not misspell the word rhyme. This is not the same word as when we say rhyming. Used here, rhyme literally just means the end of words. Another example is if you were to do the word gray, the onset would be gr and the rhyme would be a. Blending. This is breaking words into smaller units of sounds or putting sounds together to hear the word. I want you to do this with me. This may feel funny, but hold up your fist and say each sound in the word dog and extend a finger for each sound. D, g. You should have 3 letters or 3 fingers extended because dog has 3 sounds. Hopefully we all agree we heard 3 individual sounds. You can do this activity with children. You might say, okay, everybody, hold up your fist. Let's sound out the word cat. 3 fingers extended, 3 sounds in the word cat. So that's phoneme blending. You can also blend word segments. Here's an example, eyeball. Eyeball is one word, but there are 2 syllables, right? So clap it out, eyeball. That's blending word segments. Rhyming. I will start with the most important part of this slide. Research does indicate a direct correlation between rhyming mastery and reading preparedness. It has been proven scientifically that children who do not master rhyming have only a 20% chance of becoming a fluent reader. Rhyming is an important skill to practice and master. We don't learn rhyming because it's fun, even though it is. It's necessary to become a fluent reader. Rhyming is when 2 words sound the same at the end. You can practice rhyming in so many different ways. There are great examples in chapter 5 of your textbooks, so be sure to check it out. You'll want to make sure that you read chapter 5 in your textbook because there are some great activities. And your next lesson will be planning for emergent reading. You can utilize the activities in chapter 5 to support your emergent reading lesson plans. You'll be doing 2 lesson plans. What are instructional methods for teaching phonological awareness? The methods include rhyme awareness, understanding speech is comprised of individual words, segmenting words into chunks or syllables, blending chunks or syllables into words, identifying phonemes, the smallest unit of sounds that make up words, segmenting words into onset and rhymes, blending onset and rhyme. Let's look at print convention and concepts of print. Because children are learning to read and write simultaneously, these 2 skills are happening at the same time. When you're reading aloud to children, you want to pay attention to some important conventions that you can talk about and model. Talk about the page. Identify the top and bottom of the page. Show children the words using your finger. Show children that words move from left to right. You want also for children to understand that it's the words on the page that carry the message. You can still tell the story by using the picture, but it's the words on the page that tell the story. You want to identify the author, the name, and what the author does. Identify the illustrator, the name of the illustrator, and what the job of the illustrator is. The idea is that you are discussing the many uses of print. Besides writing, telling a story in books, writing can be used to make lists, to label. Think about other ways that writing is used and introduce those to children. You want children to be able to look at a page of text and know where one word stops and starts. You want children to understand where one sentence begins and where it ends. You want children to know what happens when the words on the page end. You turn the page or you go on to the next page. You want children to recognize that the pictures, while they don't necessarily tell a story, they support the message. That's all for this week. You will be working on your lesson plans for emergent reading, and let me know if you need any help with that. Thanks.